Somewhere in Africa, there lived a
man and his wife. They didn't have much, but they made it work, and they loved each other very much. At this point, they had been with each other about a year, and the man had grown very fond of his wife. She was beautiful, loving, respectful, supportive, all those amazing things you want in a wife, right? So after some thinking, the man decides it's time his wife knew his biggest secret. He sits her down and tells her to wait for him, and goes into the highest point in the house to grab a stick. Yes, a stick, but not just any stick. He presents the stick to his wife and goes on to explain to her that that stick was used in a ritual on the day of his birth. Apparently he was cursed to die on the day of his birth, but a witch doctor had saved his life by fusing his soul to the stick. So in essence, that stick was his life. The witch doctor gave only one rule, one specific condition to how the stick works, and that is that the stick must never, ever touch the ground. The moment it did, it would instantly sever the connection between his soul and the stick and he would die. So as long as he had lived, at this point a man well over his 30s, the stick had never once touched the ground. And the fact that he was standing there saying this to her was proof of that. Despite a few close calls in the past, of course. He proceeds to let his wife know that because he loves and cherishes her so much, he was going to give her the stick for safekeeping. In essence, giving her his life. She graciously accepted the stick, told him how much she loved and appreciated him for the gesture, and promised to keep the stick safe and not let him down. In this moment, they were at the height of trust, love, and happiness. Only a few months later though, they found themselves in a heated argument. And my dad made sure to let me know when he was telling me the story that the argument was over nothing. Apparently she had a problem with him that she felt he wasn't taken seriously enough. So in a fit of rage, she did the unthinkable. She ran into the house to get the stick from the high point she had hidden it in, ran back out with stick in hand to her hubby, and while she hurled insults at him, planted the stick firmly in the ground, and then looked at him directly in his eyes, waiting for him to die. And then, in the midst of onlookers, nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. It turns out the husband was lying about the entire stick story. It was all one elaborate test that his wife had failed. The story goes, she got even more frustrated and called him a liar. Can you believe that? Like she didn't just display murderous intent. Anyway, moral of the story, vulnerability is a double-edged sword. It can help to create strong connections and bonds, but it can also be used to kill you. Take Samson in the Bible, for instance. Be careful who you're vulnerable with. It's been Jason's Favorite Scientist. Do with disinformation what you must.